Hello and welcome to Mcedam's universe of DVD collecting. Today we will be looking at the action genre, full of testosterone and action and blood. So let's get on to this. We got the Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee collection here. We got the Man, the Myth, which I can't remember much about it. I think the disc on that part is broken. Fist of Fury 2. Loved that film. It was a bit weird that I haven't seen the first one yet, but there you go. Rumbles in Hong Kong. One of Jackie Chan's more forgettable roles. Gotta be honest, but there you go. Master of Cracked Fingers. I don't know, it's a bit slow for my liking. I do really love the martial arts genre, but this collection wasn't very good apart from the first one. The Last Samurai, great movie. I really enjoyed this. About a soldier that gets caught up in the culture of this small place, and it was really nice to see. It was really nice and sweet to see. Agent Cody Banks 2. I mainly got this because I love the actor. He was in Malcolm in the Middle, and I found him hilarious there, so I got this. And if you like the films like Spy Kids, you'd really enjoy this movie. But if you don't, then I wouldn't watch it. Mission Without Permission. This is a great children's film. If you want something to show your kids, this is a great film to show them. I really enjoyed this film. It's got some cool go-kart scenes, which I gotta admit got me pumped when I watched this film the first time. Spy Kids 2, The Land of Lost Dreams. I've watched all the Spy Kids movies. Some of them are alright. I think this is my only one that I think is actually good. Third one was a bit scary for little kids, and the fourth one was just goddamn terrible with the stupid 4D idea. But this one, I thought it actually had a decent story to it, or at least for the idea that it had, which I really like this idea of like a place where like all these weird animals exist, and especially for a kids film, it was much more kids friendly than the other ones, but in a good way. Whilst the other ones were like really scary, especially in the first one where you got those drawing monsters. That was terrifying. Mcedam, which most people don't know that this is actually like a spin-off of Spy Kids. Robert Rodriguez is, what's the name? Danny Trio? Is it Danny Trio? His character is the same as in the one in Spy Kids. I find that really hilarious because this is a really dark, really grim, really adult film. But I got to say, this film is actually really boring and really slow. I got to be honest. Stephen King's Maximum Overdrive. This is really only buy this movie for the music by AC/DC. That's the only reason why you should get this movie. It is freaking awesome. Just to see cars and shit blow up to the music of AC/DC. It is awesome. It is great. It is fantastic. It doesn't have a good story like at all, but it's really... First Blood, which I think is like the first smart action movie they made. I could be wrong, but I remember this being like one of my favorites. I've just put them on the sides as well. Hold on, if I show you one of these ones, like First Blood and First, so I may just refer them to First Blood. This is First Blood Part 2. I really enjoyed this one. It's we got to see Rambo in action, as the last movie was more about him trying to survive in a world which he does not exist anymore. where he doesn't be needed anymore. And this one shows him back in his game, which is nice to see for the character, that he's like somewhere where he feels like he belongs. So it was a really like, it was a step in the right direction. You know, you can see this was a great way to take the direction. They could have just like copied the original, but luckily we got it. Rambo 3, well, First Blood Part 3 I put on the side. This is hilariously stupid. The freaking ends with Rambo on like a horse and he's fighting a freaking helicopter. It was really bizarre. It seemed really weird. It seemed like this is a typical like action movie. Like they were thinking, you know what, this is not gonna get better anytime soon. We're not gonna like surpass the first two. We may as well just go out there with the action, and it really delivers on that. First Blood Part 4, or just Rambo. I really enjoyed this movie. Some bits were forgettable. Some of the other characters were a bit annoying. But apart from that, this was a great... It was bloody violent as well. There's a little pro-war message, which I gotta be honest, seemed a bit odd for this like character piece. And also, I totally don't agree with it. But if you still like the Rambo character, this is still a great film. The Expendables, absolutely terrible. I mainly got this just to see some of my favourite action actors all together, but it was just so awkward. I haven't seen 2 or 3, and I don't plan to, if I gotta be honest. Right then, now we have the James Bond franchise. As you can see, some of these are in these awesome gold covers, which I really loved. But then you get stupid ones, I guess, because they had like 4 or 5 different collector's covers, which I found really annoying. And now, with Daniel Craig, they've just stopped them all together and they're just doing like, their own thing. It's so annoying. But I got these golden ones, which look really cool. I prefer them over to the other ones, but they're really hard to find as well about these ones. The popular ones you're going to get is probably like that one. But anyway, enough of my rants about covers. Like I always do. Dr. No, classic film. Oh yeah, I will warn you that some of these early Bond films, women aren't portrayed very well. But well, some of them aren't. Mainly the ones that he falls in love with. But yeah. From Russia with Love, it was a bit slow, a little bit forgettable, but it had a really cool villain. Goldfinger, my favourite James Bond film. I just love the music, the style, the atmosphere that this gives off. The villain was amazing. This henchman was, oh my god. And it was just a classic film in general. On Her Majesty's Secret Service, this is the first film where it's like a romantic film as well as like it was less of an action film and more of like a romance film. I had to put this on this. I had to put it on this because it was mixed with James Bond. But if it wasn't for that, I would have put this in like the drama section. It was great. I love this movie. Lots of people hate this, but I absolutely adore this film. Mainly for the fact to see Bond fall in love and actually respect the woman, which is actually a growth in his character, which I wanted to see more. But the great twist in his ending shows that he can't do that. His lifestyle and what he does can't permit him to fall in love, which watching this makes you feel really sad for the Bond character. And you kind of like understand why he uses all these women. Okay, that sounded a bit wrong, but you get what I'm saying. Live and Let Die. It's a classic film. It wasn't a great film. Some of the story doesn't make any sense, and the twist is really obvious. How the bad guy died was hilarious, but it was one of these really classic Bond films. Some scenes like stick out as some like the most memorable James Bond scenes ever. The Man with the Golden Gun, which is one of my favourites, mainly to see Christopher Lee as a James Bond bad guy. That was freaking amazing. That was a great cast in there. For Your Eyes Only, I can't remember much what happens in this one. I may have to watch that one again. The Living Daylights, great film. GoldenEye, another great film. Casino Royale, again, this isn't actually an action film. If it wasn't for the fact that it was James Bond, I would have put it in the more drama section. But I don't know, it seemed more about winning this casino game, which is actually a lot of fun. And it was nice to see Bond to go into this different direction. I wish that James Bond franchise will go into more directions. Maybe we can have like a horror-themed James Bond movie. I doubt that they'll do it these days. But I really enjoyed this movie. I really enjoyed the characters, the thing. And you kind of like understand where Bond comes from in terms of how he treats women, which is like a big part of his character. My problem with that, with this whole idea of Bond being this like sexist woman controlling person, is that we never really like see him grow out of it. That's one of my faults with the James Bond character as a whole. But at least you can understand why he does it in some of these films. Quantum of Solace, lots of people hate this. I actually really enjoyed it, but that was just me. Too Fast, Too Furious, I mainly got this because it was my brother's, and my brother lost the first one. It was... I'm not a fussed on the Fast and Furious franchise, if I gotta be honest. R.I.P. Paul Walker, by the way. It was sad to hear that he passed away. He was a great actor, but I'm not fussed on the Fast and Furious franchise at all. It just seemed like it was trying too hard to be a guy's movie, and it forgot about its characters and it forgot about its story, and instead just focused on cars and seeing women in weird positions, that sort of stuff. And last but not least, Diamond Dogs, which is this really cheap film for Dolph Lundgren. Is it Dolph Lundgren? I can't pronounce his last name. It was really forgettable. It was forgettable, but you kind of do feel sorry for this character, and you want to see him prevail. It was alright. It wasn't amazing, but I wouldn't recommend it. But it was still nice and fun to watch. And there you go. That's my action collection. I hope you enjoyed. See you soon.